What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Real Moves podcast. I am Jonathan Gonzalez here with...
I'm Jeff Luna.
And today we are in the presence of a very, very social media superstar. She does lash extensions, and this is Geoffrey's very own sister. So welcome to the podcast,
My
Taylor.
dearest sister.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Of course, of course. So tell us, for the people who don't know you, what do you do? And just tell us your
How do you do it?
little introduction.
Well, my name's Taylor. I'm 29 and I'm a lash artist. I've been doing lashes since 2016. So it's been a journey. To be honest, I never even knew that I even wanted to do lashes. I didn't even know what lash extensions were. But I grew up in a family where it was all entrepreneurs. My mom was a hairdresser. My aunt was an esthetician. And they always would pester me don't you want to be in the beauty industry? You could do hair or makeup. And I was like, I can barely do any of that stuff on myself. And I always thought, no, I was the oldest out of the three.
Yeah.
So I felt a lot of pressure to go to school and get educated and get a college degree. My parents never did that. So they really pressed us as kids. And then I went to college and I realized, wow, this is not my vibe at all. And then I remember I failed all my classes my first semester, and I only passed art. I was always very artistic. I could draw really well, but I thought art can never make money and pay bills, So my aunt, I went to her spa to get my eyebrows done, and she was like, Taylor, you should get into makeup. And I was like, that's crazy. I can't do that. But then I learned, for a year, I just started learning off of YouTube and practicing on myself. And I loved it. It was another form of art and a way to express myself.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe 6 months in, she was like, Taylor, you need to do lash extensions. And I was like, what the heck is that? I never even heard of it. I was like, is that one hair on your one hair? And she was like, yeah, so you have heard of it. And I was like, no, that sounds crazy. I don't know what you're smoking, but I can't do that.
So she's the reason why you started?
My aunt Juanita is the reason why I started lash extensions. We can all thank her. My mom had a big part to play with it though too. She would always ask me. So I just searched lash extension training when I went home that night, and I was just so disappointed because the training was $500, and I didn't even have that in my bank account. I was like, all right, well I guess that's out the window. And then I was on Instagram, and this girl posted, oh, my cousin does lashes, you guys should hit her up. So I was like, lash extensions. It's the first page I ever saw, so I thought, wow, her work is amazing. So I clicked on her page, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna DM her and just be like, how'd you get started? Because any tips, I was just so hungry for anything.
Yeah.
And then I DM'd her, and she responded back quickly, and she was like, wow, you really remind me of myself. I would love to train you if you give me the opportunity, but the only problem is I've never trained anybody. And I was like, I don't care just how much. Everything was about price back then for me. And she's like, $350, and I was like, oh my gosh, sold. Let's do it. And my aunt actually took a class maybe a month before me, and she's like, Taylor, I didn't learn anything. I could barely get one lash on my model. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is probably really hard. So then I asked the girl, can you train my aunt too? And she was like, yeah, sure. And $300 for her for a refresher. So she came to my aunt's shop, and she taught us, and it was 3 hours. Literally didn't get a kit, no tweezers, glue, a manual, nothing. I just stood by her. I watched her, and bada bing, bada boom, I was a lash artist in 3 hours. But after...
Because you went to school though, right? You went to school for what? Hair?
No, at first I was actually going to try to be a veterinarian. So I was in animal science, and I hated it. It was I didn't realize how much schooling was. I signed up for biology, and it was 3 classes in one, and I was like, it was terrible. So I was originally a bio major, so dropped out.
But then you went to school for the... you did hair and...
That was eventually, so then I ended up switching my major to small business because my mom was like, you at least need to get your AA before you go to cosmetology school. So you have something to fall back on. So then I did, and then to be honest, I actually never really got my AA. I was 1 class away, And then I was like, I'm done. Like, I would just see girls running around in Cosmo class, and I was dying to be in there. So I finally just said, Mom, I got my AA. And so then she's like, okay, fine, now you go to beauty school. So then I went into cosmetology school.
But you never really got it.
But I never really got my AA.
Does she know to this day?
It's fine. I think she
now.
knows. She asked me this maybe like a month ago, and I denied it. And I was like, no, I did. She's like, well, where's the certificate? And I was like, it's in the mail.
I gotta hit print.
Years later.
I gotta hit print.
How old were you at this point when you found this girl on Instagram? She's teaching you and you're at. What age were you?
I want to say I was like 22. I was really young.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the potential of being in the beauty industry even had. I just thought, I started making money by doing makeup. I was doing proms and weddings, and that was great days. I was making like $500+ of work that day, and back then that was like my check for maybe every 2 weeks.
Was
Yeah.
that after though cosmetology school or before you were?
That was
learning?
before cosmetology school.
Okay, so like
makeup was
everyone
the
that
first.
does eyelashes, do they have to go to cosmetology school, or do they just learn from someone on the side?
So every state's regulations are different, but for California, yes, you need to be a licensed esthetician or cosmetologist.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then you trained with this girl before, and then you went to cosmetology school.
Yes, which is honestly, now that I'm a trainer and educator for other girls, I actually recommend that they do the same that I did, is to take a lash course first and just see if you even like lashes first before you fully commit to 6 months to a year to getting your license. Yeah.
This entire time, so you're going through all this, you're like going to college, unsure what you want to do, you have like this drive or you want to get into cosmetology, do lashes and all this stuff now. Are you holding a job this entire time too?
Yes, I was working retail. So I was working at Nordstrom, like the fancy Nordstrom. And then I ended up leaving that one because it was commission and it was just too much. And then I started working at the rack. So it's just like an hourly.
Yeah.
So I worked retail my whole like life almost up to this point. So when I did not have to work that day or I got off early, I would go to the salon and do clients.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Or house calls I was doing too.
Cool.
So like, I know that everyone, it seems like, even like in my industry, like everyone wants to do real estate. A lot of girls want to do like beauty, whether it's hair, esthetician, I don't know, skincare, eyelashes, right? Mm-hmm. How many of them do you see actually like make it? And what do you think separates you from like other girls that want to do what you want to do or what you did?
I think what separates me from the competition is that there's only one of me. People come to me because they like my persona, they like my energy that I put out there. I make people feel like royalty. When you're in my bed and I'm doing your lashes and we're talking, I'm very much relationship based. I'm a very open person, an open book. I'll tell you my whole life and I won't leave any details out. And I think I'm not scared to work. A lot of people are scared to work and they think, oh, I just need to make money fast, But if you're going to take a lash course and you think you're going to get rich quick, you shouldn't take the lash course. Like, you should be taking it because it's something that you're deeply intrigued with and you can see yourself loving long term and you're willing to put in the hours and the hard work because it's constant highs and lows. There's days you won't make money and there's weeks you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's crazy because a lot of people think, like you said, like they want to make quick money. And like I was telling Jonathan, we live in a world where everyone wants to do everything quick. How long did it realistically take you from making the money where you can quit Nordstrom to like now you're living the lash life, like, and making it full time?
Yeah. So I first got trained in 2016 and was grinding it out, but I felt like I really couldn't grind it out as hard as I wanted just because I wasn't licensed yet. Mm-hmm. And then I got licensed in 2018. And then after that, I got licensed in 2018 of December. January, I hit it hard. My mom told me, Taylor, you're ready for rent at the salon because I was commission based for 2 years. And I was like, no rent, Mom, because I'm going to be fully committed. If I work that week, if I don't have any clients that week,
You gotta pay
I
no
still
matter
have to
what.
pay my rent. So I was like, I don't know, Mom. And she was like, Taylor, you need to have faith in yourself. Like, you've built this little clientele, and now you're just going to boom that much more coming in here full time with your license. And it was the best decision I did, because then it put a fire up my butt to get those clients in the door and to make my rent. And it was this snowball effect. It's what you put into the industry is what you're going to get out of the industry. So you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
So
If you're part-time, you're going to make part-time money.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you're 1 foot in, you're going to make 1 foot in kind of money. It's like you got to be all in every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think it's similar for like your industry, right? I mean, there's no like roadmap, like photography. It's like all
There's really
hustle.
not. Like, it's YouTube University, and then you kind of just gotta take it and run with it, and then mess up and try again, and mess up and try again, and then, eventually it's like up and down, and then, hey, success. Like, you're finally there. But it's probably with any industry, nobody
Yeah.
really
Literally.
has it all figured out.
And like I say this with every business, right? You can sustain if you obviously do business with people right? Your sphere of influence. But to grow a business, you have to do business with people you don't know, right? So you started doing business with people right? People that
Yeah.
you met or word of mouth. Now you're getting business from everywhere, right? Like
Yeah.
people you never met before. Like what would you say is like your top lead generator that like people just reach out to?
Instagram, for
Instagram?
sure. Instagram, and then just word of mouth.
Even on Instagram. So, how many followers do you have now?
I just hit 10,000.
Nice.
So
Congrats.
I have 10.1 now. So
Nice. And I imagine a lot of those people are all over the nation, maybe even the world. Are you seeing a lot of your inquiries only from this area, or do you get stuff from other areas too? Like, hey, do you travel, or whatever they might ask?
yeah, no, I've actually have trained 2 Chicago girls, and they both flew in from Chicago to come train with me.
Wow.
Yeah. I had just a girl a couple weeks ago drive down from San Diego. Found me through a reel.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was my second most viral reel. It was me just showing people like how to make their bed more comfortable for their clients, and
Yeah.
it like blew up. It took a month to blow up, because
I
that's the
think you
thing.
showed me that one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny. Like, I look through the comments just to see, because instantly it's like,
Oh,
okay,
God.
half haters and then half like people
Yeah.
praising you, which is cool when other people are kind of like egging you on and like, hey, good on you. But
Yes.
there's a lot of haters out there. You have to block them out.
The
Like,
trolls.
Yeah.
We could do a whole other podcast talking about trolls and like the mindset that you need to have. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Now that, I just had my most viral reel hit 1.2 million views.
Nice.
And that, I was just telling my husband, I'm like, I can't look at my phone in the morning, because you just look at those comments and it just drains you of your creative energy.
Yeah.
And like, I can't.
There's just so much negativity on there, and it's just like,
But
And
then
it's
it's
always
sad.
from like accounts that have like no followers.
Yeah, it's like-
they're private.
I'm like, who? And then I tried to respond to one, and it said, oh, this person doesn't allow like mentions, like to like at them in conversations on Instagram. So I was like, oh, so you're a troll.
Right.
Like, it's just so annoying.
it's weird.
Yeah.
But you know what? Those people, you got to just pray for them, because they're unhappy people. You just got to keep shining.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing you keep doing your thing. And so when you're posting these videos, are you promoting solely your education, or are you also promoting lashes and the fact that you do them, or is it kind of like all one and the same? Like, you get best of both worlds?
Yeah, I always stay niche down. So I'm always in my niche, which is lash extensions. Every niche is so like wide, so I feel like I can just make so many different videos for my niche. So yeah, I just stay within lash extensions, and then I just kind of, okay, how can I create a solution for other viewers? And that's kind of how I like mindset my content behind it.
And you try to put a creative spin on it, right? Because it seems like, although it's educational, it's still very entertaining. Like,
Exactly. People want to be entertained, and people don't have a very long like attention span.
yeah.
So I try to make each frame only last 2.5 seconds. Because after 2.5 seconds, they're like, okay, like what's next? They want to keep scrolling. So if they see, oh, it's a new frame in 2.5 seconds, okay, I want to keep watching. Oh, what's gonna happen next? It's gonna keep them engaged. So try to keep your frames moving.
That's crazy. That's a lot of work because I used to go by a 4 second rule. At least I did in my editing for like client work or whatever. It was always a 4 second rule. But I guess now with like Reels and TikTok and everything, it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like
Yes.
keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Text, like put text on your video so people are like, it makes them have to read what's on the screen.
Yeah.
And then boom, it's a new screen. So in 2.5 seconds, oh, well, now what does it
So
say?
their eyes are just like
their eyes
all
are just
over
like
the-
constantly engaged into it.
It's
Yeah.
like a whole science behind it.
There
It's
is
insane.
that. I use trending audios, and there's apps that can make your life easier. Because before I was just going through like reels and like, okay, like what audios am I gonna use this week? And then I was just stuck scrolling for like hours. So now I use Trend Talk and Reels Trend, and they just tell you, okay, so these are the top 10 personalized for you sounds that are going to be trending, and then I just kind of formulate my videos around them.
So these apps, they base the audio based on your niche and the stuff you're already posting?
It's not really my niche. It's just when you first get the app, it'll ask you questions like, what's your content? Like, kind of like, what category are you
Yeah.
in? And then it'll like give me personalized sounds for me.
That's
So,
really cool. I've never
yeah.
heard of that. That's very
And
useful.
I think it might be $30 a year. I will pay $100 a year for those apps because it saves my sanity from scrolling for sounds.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. That's a good point because you are spending money for your business.
Yeah, it's
and
a write-off.
so many people want they want no risk. I'm not gonna put no money up. I'm just gonna do a little bit here, a little bit there,
Yeah.
and try to get a result. And it's like if you don't put any money in your business, it takes money to make money. That's true to a certain extent, right? Because
Absolutely.
you could do a lot of things organically now. But like you said, right, making your life easier, being more efficient. People have other jobs, right? People have other things that they have to do to make money now. But it's what they do on their off time that's really going to set them apart and take them to that next level. So if they can leverage apps like that, well, they can make more money, right? Now, I want to bring up another point. We had another guest on the show, and he's like the king of like real estate in a sense of like he's like, if you want to get a loan for a house, you want to buy a house, you want to build a new development. Like he makes money all the way around, right? He has a lending company. He has, his own boutique, realty company. He has a hard money lending so you are kind of similar in a sense of like the Lash world, right? I mean, you have your own location, right? You can house, Lash artists, right?
Yeah.
You sell your own Lash products to consumers and business to business, right? And you can obviously do your own clients, so like you're making money all the way around. What would you say, like, because obviously I'm sure other girls want to do that. What advice would you give to them when kind of doing that kind of model that you have?
You have to be humble. You have to take it step by step. So I got my license. I focused on my clients first, making capital, because that's what you need, cash flow.
Right.
And then once I started getting DMs and girls were like, oh my gosh, like, do you do trainings? And I thought, no, but I should. And then I remember I booked a girl and I was like, great, I got my first trainee. I need to buy her a kit. And then I bought all the supplies from like these other lash suppliers, and like the kit came out to like $700. And I charged her $2,000 for the class, which I thought, yes, I'm gonna make $2,000, but it's like, oh, now I'm only gonna make $1,200. And the class is 3 days, 4-hour session, or 4-hour sessions, 3 days, one-on-one with me. So I was like, wow, okay, that really got my wheels turning. And I was like, I should probably start looking into creating a product line just to like bring down my own costs for myself. And then I could give girls products of my own. So I started slowly tapping into like different manufacturers and testing out samples. And I'm still to this day with expanding the line, like constantly testing out like different samples and just finding what's better because it's constantly changing. So yeah, then I created the product line, and then it kind of went even bigger. So everything kind of started just snowballing slowly, So then girls were asking me, "Oh my gosh, what products do you use? Like your lash sets look amazing." And I thought, "Oh, well, it's my products that I'm using." But I never thought, "Oh, I'm gonna get these products and sell them to other girls to make money." It just happened. So I never had a roadmap to think I was gonna make money from all of this. It just kind of happened. So obviously, it's so evolved now. Lashes were not as evolved back then when I started. So to tell a girl who's wanting to, open up her own salon and start her own lash line, I would say just focus first on your clients, be booked out, because then you can always fall back on that money if things, don't really work out with the product line and trainings. So just take it step by step. Even my past trainee, she was like, "Oh my gosh, the San Diego girl." She's like, my friend's opening up a luxury salon and she wants to charge me like $600 for rent a month. And I'm like, okay, but you're gonna be in a luxury-based salon, and she's gonna be throwing clients to you all day long, and you're gonna be the only lash girl there. So you just took my class. You're gonna be equipped and ready. You have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
These girls just think, "I want it all right now. I want the storefront now." And it's like it's not how it works. You got to do step by step.
Yeah, it's all incremental
That's how you
growth.
end up like losing big.
Yeah, I'm like, you got to be commissioned first, and then you'll know when you're ready for rent. Even though I was scared, I knew deep down inside, my mom's right. I am ready for rental because I'm giving the house tons of money every week. So I'm losing money. I need to be rent. So you'll know.
If there's a girls out there who, they do hair, lashes, whatever it is that they do, and they want to be vertically integrated like you, so they want to have, the physical location and then the product line and the education and everything. What would you say is the best place to start? I know you said you started on your clients first. Do you think they should do that, or should they kind of just do it all simultaneously, or what would be the bbest way to start?
I would say, number one, do not be afraid to spend money on training. So me, in the beginning, I was so scared, like, money, like, how much is the class? But it's like, no, nowadays lashes are so advanced. Do research on your educator, see how credible they are, what girls they've trained in the past, maybe success stories of how those girls are doing, and pay the money. You're gonna spend at least $2,000 plus on a really good lash class. So I would say start there first. And then I wouldn't really do the lash products. Yeah, I wouldn't do those right away. I would really focus on branding yourself first and your clients first before you kind of tap into that. You'll know when you're ready to go to the next level. When you're like, okay, I'm booked. I'm spending a lot of money on products now. Then it's like, okay, let me try samples now. You have the capital to try those samples. Because samples are a lot of money. Like, I remember when I was trying glue, it would be like $50-$60 to get a glue shipped in. And then if I didn't like it, it was just trash. You're just throwing out that $50 out the window. So you have to be financially prepared to start trying out samples.
How many samples would you say you went through? First of all, how many products are there? So how many products do you carry? And then of each one, how many samples do you feel like you went through?
So the glue I actually found pretty quickly. I probably tried maybe like 10 glues. So it was like probably like a $500 investment to see which one that I liked. And the trays took the longest, the lash trays. Those took like 2 years to find. The tweezers, I went through a few vendors, probably like a year to find. All in all, I think I probably have maybe like 20-ish plus products. Yeah.
Wow. It's a big investment. But it's cool that it sounds like you're really concerned for the quality of all of it. If you spent 2 years trying to find the right lash tray, that's a big deal.
It meant everything to me. I was not going to put my name on something that I would never use myself.
Yeah.
So I wanted my clients' feedback. I gave the trays to some of my friends that are in the industry, and I was like, I want all your dirty feedback, and good feedback. And I wanted mainly the clients too. How does it feel on? Does the curl last? What's the finish? Is there a blue hint? Are they glossy? Are they matte? Every brand or just manufacturer's length and curl is so different. So finding that perfect manufacture took a very long time. And then the glue too is also bought in extremely small batches because I only want the freshest products when I sell them. So nothing is ever just sitting on the shelf for like 6 months to a year. It's like 3 months and then it's like boom, fresh product.
Good point, and I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got it all figured out. So,
With
what's
time.
your storefront? You're selling these on a website, correct?
Yeah.
And on the back end, what are you using for sales and everything here? Like, what kind of platform?
Shopify.
Cool. Is that something you recommend for others?
Yes. I had GoDaddy website, I think, before, and it was god awful. Shopify is very user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
Especially the ability to add all those add-ons and integrations and stuff, right? Too, like for all your marketing and everything.
Yeah, they're like one of like the leaders right now in, you know, just buying stuff online from like,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of even people, I mean, integrate like, I saw a barbershop using Shopify, like just normal businesses, not just selling products, you know, like service businesses
Yeah.
that use Shopify that are, you know, pretty legit too. So what's like the next like step for you? Like what are some things that you're working on now? Like you got into a certain level, like what's like next on the horizon, like you would say?
I would say just to keep growing the social media accounts, even TikTok. Like for the longest time, I had like 200 followers, but I would just totally had my one foot in though. I wasn't both feet in, and I've been really like focusing on growing both platforms, and it's just crazy like how much it will grow when you put into it. So definitely growing the platforms, expanding the product line. I have a lot just in the works right now. I have a whole new lash line coming out, which I'm super excited. A new glue is going to be coming out, which I just can't believe because I just always said, I'm only going to sell this one glue. But a new glue. I want to start really hammering down on doing an online class because that's the future. Online classes, nobody wants to leave their home. So after COVID, it really transitioned businesses in a lot of great ways, I think. So just to be more diverse in my business, I really want to incorporate an online class.
And plus, not everyone can afford to like fly in, right? And like
Yes.
come see you, you know, someone could be
Exactly.
like, out of the country and like see you and want to like learn from you, right? So
Yes.
it just opens those doors too,
Yes.
you know? No, I think that's good. So Jonathan, you have like a pretty good following on TikTok. You're like dialed in. What's some advice you can give to her? Wait, first of all, how many followers do you have?
Now we're just shy of 40,000. I want to say it's like 38.1 or maybe 39 now. I'm not sure. But yeah, thankfully I got in early. So I started in August of 2020. Like
That was when it was blowing up.
everybody was flocking to TikTok. And so
During
back
COVID.
then it was like I had 200 followers for the longest time. And then finally I posted this one video and it gets 1.7 million. And so it's like, holy crap. And then things changed like that. Like I got new, better clients. I got, more inquiries of just other photographers. And at that time, 2.5 years ago, like I knew what I was doing, but not to the extent that I know now. So like along the way, as I'm helping to educate other people and doing all this stuff, I'm also learning myself. So it helps like accelerate your growth a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that's been cool. I think the trick on TikTok is just consistency. I've
Definitely.
gone through my waves of like posting and then I cut back because just get busy and then start posting again. But now we finally got a social media manager as of last month. So we're hoping to start cranking out 5 to 6 posts per week on there. It should be more, but I mean, we're just starting small and then hope maybe we'll scale up in time.
And like these are like well thought out posts too. Like,
Yeah, these are all
strategically
planned
calculated,
out.
right?
Yeah, the hashtags are all planned out. The captions, the hook, literally what it says on the screen in the first 3 seconds. All
How
of
many
it's all planned out.
hashtags are allowed? Is it better to do more or less? Or
I don't know. So to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. My strategist has been recommending and been putting somewhere between like 7 to 8 or something like that. And they're pretty highly targeted. Like there's some videos even where I just respond to a comment and it's just me talking to a camera and all screen recorded and send it to her and she says, okay, just put these hashtags, like she'll paste it all out for me. and then I put them, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see what's hitting. We haven't been
Yeah.
on it for more than a month yet, so
Right.
in time we'll take a look at the analytics and kind of understand what's working and how we need to.
I like
Imagine
though. I like what you said about starting a community, even for like other like lash techs. I think that would be good. You know, starting like a community, like whether that's a Discord or Telegram, whatever, or a private website. You know,
Yeah.
membership website. You know, and I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine who's a golf coach, and that's like really popular right now. You know, is like having a golf community. And you know, having like a monthly retainer, like a gym membership, right?
Yeah.
And then you post like, you know, you're like keeping up with Taylor, right? On, you know,
Yeah.
because this stuff's always changing, right? Like you can come out with a course and like this is like your strategy today, and then next month it's like totally different.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's better for someone to, even for you, right?
Yeah.
You're always getting new gear, or hey guys, try this out. You know, see what you're on. You know. And I think that could be good for you too. Like even with the, you know, because you've had photographers reach out to you. He had a photographer fly in, right, to come see you.
Yeah, that was
cool.
2021. I think you might agree with me here. I find it challenging to want to start something like that because it's just another thing that demands your attention every day. It's like you have all this other stuff going on, and it's like these people are paying me every month. I have to like tend to them. I have to answer their questions and all that stuff. So maybe in the future, once I get a little bit more established, kind of hire somebody on to help me manage that community. But I can only imagine it would be difficult to tend to those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to put your all into it.
Exactly.
You
But I
know.
think what these guys do is like what I notice in like private Facebook groups, like it's like a free group that they first like start, you know, and they get like a few thousand people in there, and like pretty much everyone answers everyone's questions. It's like a lot of times the creators of the group don't even jump in. They just
They just pull the people together.
yeah, you know, and then from there, like once they build up the free group to like a few thousand, then they say, hey, join the paid group.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
like you're giving out, you know, information, and literally like it could be just like, you know, a preview of the content you're gonna post before you post it. You know, I don't think it has to be something where it has to be like separate. You
That's
know,
true.
I think you can literally just tell people what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know now that I hit 10K on Instagram, they allow me now to do subscriptions.
Oh, cool.
So where like people can subscribe to my Instagram, and then I think I get to even decide the amount of how much I want to charge people to like subscribe to me.
Nice.
Cool.
So I probably do definitely. That's like my thought process of it. But it's like you said, just another thing you have to do. It's like I'm already trying so much in my own world to like grow with my content, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have to feed this monster.
Yeah.
You know. So.
I just heard too that Twitter's starting to pay creators. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I saw that.
Dang.
I think it's cool. Twitter's making a lot of moves. I've been on Twitter since like 2015, and in the early days, it was just like chronological timeline, whatever your friends are posting, and it comes in that order. Now I'm getting served a lot of the stuff that I'm already interested in from people I don't even follow.
Yeah.
So I think the potential for even people like you and I to grow on there is going to be probably pretty significant. So that's something to kind of watch, I think.
I've never had Twitter, but I should look into it,
Yeah.
especially if it's a growing platform.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean it's always been pretty big. It's just like really like text, people just, I would say online text, right?
Yeah.
Just like giving your thoughts, you know. But also a lot of people I see post like photos and videos too on Twitter, and they get like a lot of views too. So
Yeah.
no, definitely I would recommend Twitter for sure. You know, and are you doing any paid advertising right now?
I'm still learning that, but not as consistent. Like I did do a couple ads in January. I think it was pretty decent, but as of right now, no, I don't have any ads going. I really want to focus and learn on that too. That's also what I'm learning is ads. But what I am learning with ads is all you're paying when you do ads is more eyeballs to look at your page and your product. If your brand doesn't sell people, if they go on your Instagram and they're like, wow, this is actually a really boring account, I don't want to buy from her, they're not going to buy. You could have a pretty ad, and yeah, you might have a couple of sales, but overall, it's it's just the relationship building that I believe that you really have to build strong to get people to give you their money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think the ads, not only are you going to pay for eyeballs, but you're going to reach the right eyeballs, right? People like that have purchased in the last 30 days, people that like your product or service. I tell everyone like the one ad that you should be running at all times is the retargeting ad, right? And literally just, if your biggest app is Instagram, you can run a retargeting ad for like, you can even do $1 a day, which is really cheap. I mean, $30 a month, right? $1 a day retargeting ad, and literally you can show an ad just retargeting the people that have visited or interacted with your content in the last like whatever, 30 days.
Yeah.
That is, I think, an ad that, because if they click on your page or they're watching your content, they obviously like what they're getting, so you want to get in front of those people,
Yeah.
They're just the retargeting ad, I think, is a general one. But, I also think that you can grow, like, now that you have 10K, it's almost like you're validated, right? Like, you have a following, you have good content. Like, I think you should, try to get out there and post, like an ad, and just hammer people that are, that are in the lash industry or like lashes, or like skincare, stuff like that,
Yeah.
And then because, people don't realize it's like the way that these brands are converting such highly is because they're able to reach the right people, right? So like literally every dollar you spend, if the ad is set up correctly, is literally going to reach like the right people for you,
Yeah.
And that's why you're able to grow faster. Like, I think that's like the way to get from like 10K to like 50K in like the next like 6 months, and to really build that. You could do it organically, but I mean, especially if you have them, like, marketing is 100% write off, right? This is like what John tells us all the time, right? It's literally like, I was spending, I think, like 15 grand a year, and he was like, double that, right? Because you're going to need to like write that off anyways,
Yeah.
So like literally like the value you get, like every dollar you spend, you're going to get it back one full, because more people are going to know who you are, and you're going to grow your brand and influence, right?
Yeah.
So like, what do you think about that? Like running like an ad campaign?
I think it's smart as long as you have a plan. Like if there's an end goal,
Yeah.
If the goal is just to get followers, that's probably not the best way to do it. You'd probably just post organic stuff and you'll get more followers that way. But
Right.
Depending on your intentions, do you want to sell more courses? Do you want to sell more products? Do you want more people to walk into your storefront? It's all possible with ads, but
Yeah, like local ads, right?
I think the one that you probably hit the nail on the head with is the retargeting ad, because that's somebody who's already shown interest in what it is you're doing, knows who you are, they've been there, and then you pop up as a retargeting ad, and it's like, for people who don't know marketing, they're just like, oh shit, like this girl's everywhere.
Exactly.
Right.
And like, I think a lot of people don't realize, like subliminally, like what marketing really does to you. Just as us as growing up, like we know certain brands to be certain brands, right?
Yeah.
You could drive down the 605 or the 60 right now, go to LA, and you're going to see Sweet James on every billboard. And even though, no, I'm serious, like even though you may not know who he is, when you think of like a car accident, you're going to think of him. It's just, it is what it is, because he's everywhere. And that's just like what marketing is, especially if someone gave you attention,
Yeah.
Like if someone clicked on your ad or your post, or they're interacting with your stuff, they liked it,
Yeah.
you're going to be in their head.
Yeah.
Like there's one marketer that I follow, and like, man, I clicked on his ad before, and literally every day I saw him. And I'm like, damn, this guy's good, and you just don't forget him.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, really powerful.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
It's
I
like
totally
to
agree.
be in someone's, like the person on your shoulder, right? We're like always with you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's really cool. And it's not really costing the business so much money, right?
No,
'Cause
you don't
only-
even see it come out.
Yeah, like the only way like an old time business like in the 80s can like get like the eyes you can get now is like, radio ad or TV ad, or like,
Yeah.
be on the side of the freeway. And like
Yellow
those are
Pages.
thousands of dollars, And now you've seen people blow up off of like, there's one guy who said he posted an ad for like $100 and he like 10x it, made $1,000 from like $100 ad.
Wow.
It's like,
Insane.
yeah. So the amount of like, conversions people are getting is like remarkable with the use of ads. you
Yeah.
know? So I think it's really good.
On that topic, it would put another thing on your plate. Are you having somebody to help you manage everything that you're doing? Do you have employees or anything like that?
I have girls that rent at my shop, but that's their own business. So they're just paying the house rent weekly. But my husband, he helps a lot. So
Dream team.
yeah, like we have half of the inventory at the house and the other half is at the shop. So if we get orders to be shipped out, then he'll ship out the orders at home. And then if there's in-store pickups, I'll fill them out and, fulfill them at the shop.
Very cool.
Yeah, but as of now, it's just us. So
Nice.
I definitely want to look into like a mentor and somebody to help me grow.
Some sort of business coach.
Yeah, some sort of business coach, just somebody who has more experience than me to help guide me in avenues, because I'm so hungry to keep wanting to learn and grow, but I feel like I need that guidance just to keep me sane too.
With that guidance, maybe you might not even have an idea yet, but where do you want to take this thing? Like, what's next, and what's like the end goal, if there is an end goal, or just what's your goal in general?
It's just so crazy because I don't even know. I'm just here on the ride, I feel like. But no, I mean, of course, I feel like my dream end goal would be to be product driven mainly, where I don't have to work so much behind the chair anymore. Because it's very powerful to have an e-commerce business, to make money while you sleep. There's no greater feeling. So to be more product driven, to be an educator, it would be a dream to like travel around the States and like do classes.
Yeah.
And just mentor other girls. That's my true like just passion that like fires my soul up. So that, I mean, and other people say like, oh, you could open up multiple salons and you could franchise. But I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in 2 years I might say, yeah, let's franchise. But as of right now, it would be more just on the mentoring and product side.
I agree. I mean, me and Geoffrey had this conversation the other day with a friend, and I told him if I could do everything all over again, start from day one, I would start with a product-based business and not a service-based business. Because the services just demand way too much of your time, and it's so much harder to scale.
Yeah.
You need people to scale. With a product, you can probably cut back on people and still scale things pretty big. So I
totally
agree with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, service business is tough. It's tough. You're dealing with people, and everyone is demanding.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to make everyone happy, and you can't let that service go down. Like even in my industry, like real estate, it's tough. There's the lack of service in real estate. Like that's like the number one complaint. Like people don't hear from their agent.
Yeah.
So like to lose, like you can't lose any. Once you do a certain service, you can't lose that. You have to always bring it.
Yeah.
And real estate, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of homes getting sold and bought every day.
Yeah.
So you gotta be like on your game, So what if someone wanted to reach out to you? What's like the best way to get a hold of you? Like whether it's for a lash class, just to hit you up. Is that Instagram or?
Definitely Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah, for sure. I'm always on there. So definitely Instagram. Send me a DM. I love to interact with my followers and just give knowledge nuggets to people who are once like me.
And how much, like if someone wanted to do like your lash class, like how much is that? And like what can they expect like from you?
Well, there is a few of them. So the cheapest I would say is 1,000 and could go all the way up to 2,000. So what to expect is, well, actually, I'm lying. There's one that's even a 1.5 hour mentorship session that I do offer girls, and that's $200. They can come in person, or we could do FaceTime or Zoom for those people like out of state, like we said. But what to expect, I'm just, like I said, I'm a very open, giving person with my knowledge. I never gatekeep. So you're going to learn everything. If it's a thorough lash class, we're going to learn the science behind lashing, glue, products, branding, editing, how to take photos, how to retain your clients. It's one thing to get a client in the door, but how are you going to retain that client?
Yeah.
What else are we going to learn? There's so
Or,
much behind
safety
lashes.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
Safety.
sanitation.
Yeah.
Yes, sanitation is huge. So for my girls who aren't licensed, I give them all the, the lowdown rules of like, okay, State Board was to walk into my salon right now. This is what they're going to look at. So this is what you need to do to be up to code. So, and then I always follow up after. I tell them, if you guys have questions, come back in, reach out to me. I'm a 24-hour lash hotline, I tell them. So I don't want them to feel like, I don't know how to do this
Took my
set.
money and run or something.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not like
gone.
that. No.
That's cool though.
Yeah, a lot of other girls, they'll be like, okay, you have 30 days after the class to ask questions. And it's like, man, 30 days?
What if you don't get a client in 30 days? It's like you
Yeah.
get sick or something, you're out for 2 weeks, and then what? You have 2 weeks now to...
Especially when you're a baby lasher, if you just took a class and you're just trying to absorb everything, you're just trying to hold your tweezers right. You're like, man, you're always going to have tons of questions. So if you even just don't lash for a day, if you lash in 2 days after that, you're going to be a baby T-Rex again lashing. You're just going to be like, whoa, I don't know what I'm doing again. So yeah, for me, it's lifetime mentoring. It's a friendship. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
So right now I only do one-on-one classes, but I just posted today if girls would be interested to do 2-on-1, and I would discount the class price because it would be 2 girls in one
Right.
class. So I even switched up my whole schedule this year going into 2023 with only doing trainings on Saturdays because I was totally burning myself out last year with integrating trainings when I was doing clients. And it was really tough.
Yeah.
Talking about the creative energy being drained. Like clients, I love them so much, but they can sometimes just suck all your energy. And then to have a girl come in for a class and it's like, now I got to perform. It was just a lot. So I was like, I need to give my girls 110% of me. So now I'm doing Saturday classes only, no clients, which was a mini hit because I did have an amazing group of clients that were coming in, tipping me great, and I lost them, but sometimes you have to make sacrifices in the business to grow.
So I have a question for you. I'm going to try to start asking all the guests this one question. Let's say it's back in not even 2016, before 2016, we're talking to like 18, 19-year-old Taylor. She's going to community college and she's not liking it. She wants to go to cosmetology school and get into all that stuff. If you can go back then, what would you tell young Taylor back then?
Oh my gosh, I'd give her a big hug because she felt so lost back then. And I would look her in the eyes and say, you need to have confidence in yourself that you can reach anything that's imaginable. And I would say, take it one step at a time, put all your energy into everything that you do, your heart and soul and energy into, and you will see outcomes. If you want to go to school, put your whole heart in it. When you do clients, put your whole heart in it. Everything needs to have purpose behind it. So that's what I would tell her.
Can you also tell her that Jeff is not a bank?
Great answer. Great answer.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, Geoffrey's definitely not a bank. I'm telling you, I have a crazy story. Like, I was negative in my bank account, literally negative $500, okay? I had terrible money management, terrible.
Credit cards.
Yes, my first job was right across the street at Marshall's, and I could not manage $1. So I was negative, and I came to Geoffrey in a private conversation and said, Geoffrey, I am in deep shit. I need $500, please, just to get me out of the damn hole. And then I'll pay you back right away when I get paid. I get paid like on Friday. And Geoffrey looked at me and he was like, what? Like he was like so concerned. And I said, don't tell mom. What does he do? He goes and runs and tells my mom.
But I gave it to you.
Yes, you did, but he told my mom.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, dude.
It makes it okay.
What even happens if you're negative 500? What happens?
You get all these bank fees, and it's
Every
terrible
day
every
accruing.
single day. It's like, a withdrawal like over, I think it's like over account withdrawal, I don't even know, it's like $30 I think a day. So yeah, terrible money management skills. I totally respect money now. Money is an avenue that creates, what's that word? I'm blanking on the word.
If you think of it, we'll talk about it later.
It'll hit
From
me like
negative
right
to
after.
positive.
Yeah, dear Lord, it was terrible. I don't know why. I don't know why I was so bad with money.
That's that stuff you have to go through, man.
Yeah, you have to.
go through that.
I was
shit.
like literally at the lowest of low then.
Everyone has to figure it out.
Yeah.
Everyone has to go through whatever it is that they have to go through to do it. It's just hopefully that they don't just continue on that path.
They
'Cause
learn
there's
the lesson.
a lot of people that
Oh, yeah.
go through that stuff and they're still doing that stuff.
You're the only one that can dig yourself out of it. So, my husband's actually was my awakening to like change my life. I swear to God, because he respected money and he knew how to utilize money. And I remember he bought a BMW and we were just dating maybe like a year or something. And I was like, you bought a BMW? How? And he was like, I don't know, I put like $1,000 down, but I have like 850 credit score. And I was like, what? Like, how do you even do that? And then I knew my situation and I never was going to tell him my situation because I thought, oh my gosh, he's going to break up with me. Like, if he does. So it was sworn to secrecy that I never told him.
Don't
And
open
then-
my mail. Do not open that envelope.
do not open the mail. And then I told him maybe a year after we were like official, and it was 4th of July, and I was like, I have something to tell you. And I told him, and he was like, why didn't you just tell me? I couldn't tell you that. You were gonna break up with
You're
me.
like, I'm in deep shit.
My parents, my dad literally pulled me into the kitchen like 4 or 5 times and was like, oh my God, I'd slap the bills on the table and I'd have like all these credit card bills. And he would go through and be like, okay, we're going to pay this one, because this one has the highest interest rate. And then I started a 401k when I was working at Nordstrom. So he was like, well, Taylor, luckily for you, you kind of have a way out of this. And I was like, I do? He's like, yeah, you actually do have money. I was like, I do? Like, where?
I just take back that Gucci belt. Take back.
Return that.
Return all that shit.
That was one of the curses I was working retail is like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
see
You
all
saw
these
the new
things
stuff every
and you
day.
get a 20% discount. So you think, 20% off, like, it's so much money. No, it was like barely nothing. And yeah, I took out 401ks, 2 401ks to like pay off debt. And then finally I just got it together and yeah, now it's a completely different story, but it was really bad. Even Smooch, I asked her for money one time.
Well,
Bank of Geoffrey.
yeah. Well, it's been for real. Thanks for coming on the Real Moves podcast. I appreciate you. It's good to see everything that you're doing, where you've been, where you're going, and I'm excited to see the growth.
And you too, I'm proud of you. You've really come a long way. To the kid that didn't even like to talk, okay?
I couldn't talk.
He literally did not talk.
I didn't.
He was in speech therapy classes.
Hey.
And but look at him now. It's amazing. It's like we all start from
The guy doesn't shut
ground
up
zero.
now.
He doesn't shut up.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, it's done. Cut it.
Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it, and we'll be sure to put your information down below if anybody has any questions.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you guys for watching the Real Moves podcast. It has been a good one here. We'll see you guys next time.